So today I want to talk about the story that you've created for yourself and how that could be holding you back. You know, we've all have stories in our heads. For example, you know, we play stories all the time. Say your girlfriend is late when you guys have plans set up, and then you have this story in your head that she was off doing something with someone else, or when reality, the story was she was just in traffic, she was just late. But we create these stories. So we also create these stories and identities for ourselves. These stories that play into our heads of, hey, I'm the shy person. I'm the person that can't come out of my comfort zone and actually be the life of the party. I'm the single guy. You know, I don't belong in a relationship because I have this narrative in my head or this story playing that's not me, you know? For example, my past, I didn't have confidence, you know? I thought it was something you were born with. I thought, you know, it's something that you were given at birth, and I just did not have it. You know, going through I had my depression, I've had all these negative setbacks, and it was all because of my thought loop. It was all because of the stories I played out. I wasn't the confident one, you know. I'm better off alone because no one wants to be around me. All these stories that we create in our heads. And, you know, you have to realize that it is a story. And just as easily as stories are created, they can easily be deconstructed and create new stories, guys. And I feel like we always have stories in our heads. So what story do you want to play out? Ask yourself, you know, have some awareness, shed some awareness on yourself and be like, what kind of stories are in my life? What kind of stories do I tell myself? You know, what is my self-talk like? What are my thoughts telling me about myself? What have I created that's bringing me down? And once you realize you have awareness on your stories that you create for yourself, you can realize how they're holding you back. And then you can deconstruct them. You can start to implement new ones. Be like, hey, you know, it's just a changing of words of the story. You could just be like, hey, I'm not the confident one, but I'm working on being more confident. Or just replace I am not, because anything you say I am not, you're identifying with. So if you're saying I am working on my confidence, or I am the sociable person that I am meant to be and deserve to be, then you can start to create these stories for yourself. But if you don't realize the stories that you have and you have the awareness, then you cannot deconstruct them and change them, nor can you even understand how they're holding you back. So I want to get you to the point where you're creating these awesome stories that you are the confident one, you are the one that's coming outside of your shell, the person that you want to become. And if you're not sitting down with yourself and realizing the person that you want to be or who you want to become, you know, you can't create stories to become that person, or you can't even figure out what that person acts like or is to become that person. So being able, the first step to being able to understand your stories, the second step is how to deconstruct them, which is how I was talking about before, is just like replacing them, you know, realizing how they're holding back and then create new stories. And when you create those new stories, you have to implement them stories, because anything that you want to stick in your mind, your subconscious mind, you have to do over a period of 30 to 60 days. You have to be able, repetition. You have to keep telling yourself that you are a certain way to become that certain way. You have to take little steps to figure out, okay, if I am this person, how does that certain person react? You know, say if you want to be more confident, how does a confident person act? How does a confident person talk? How does a confident person walk? What is their posture like? Body language, these type of things. When you start analyzing people that you want to be like, not be, because we are all meant to be ourselves, but it's to be like, you can implement things that work for them that you can pick up that you want to be more like them. Not become them, but be more like them. Pick up skills that you like, that you would like to take on as your own traits. And then start to implement that with repetition. Every day, just do something small. I feel like so many people want to change things in their lives, but they come from big drastic changes, which is hard to stick with, and we fall off of it. So if we can just pick with small little, like say, okay, I normally walk with a little bit of a slump. My back's not straight, which when you have a back straight, and you're standing up tall and your chin is not down or it's at eye level, then it makes you more confident. So just do little things. Okay, today when I walk into the grocery store, even though I feel as if I'm not confident, I want to take on traits that make me more confident. So today I'm going to walk in the grocery store with my eyes at eye level, my chin is up and erect, my back is straight, and I walk with confidence. I talk with confidence. You know, and all confidence is just experience. But it doesn't matter what trait you're trying to build or what skill you're trying to build up. It just takes small little steps, guys. And you know, I'm no different from anybody else. I say this all the time, and guys, you guys are probably better than I am, to be honest. I've just put in a lot of hard work to dedicate to become the person I want to become. And I'm telling you, since I am no different, you can become the type of person that you want to become. And it just starts with little steps, little inches, little increments every day that's going to put you where you want to be. And before, you know, I would never leave the house. I wouldn't even come to a beautiful spot like this. But now that I do, I can share with you guys, and I can share my perspectives, help you guys change your life, see where I have become, not where I am, but where you guys want to become. And that is a beautiful thing when you get there. And really, you know, stories are a burden or they're a beautiful blessing, but it all depends on the story that you're telling yourself. So what story are you going to tell yourself today?